Thank you very much indeed. Hello, I'm Alexander Armstrong. This is Pointless, the quiz show where the biggest winners are the lowest scorers. Let's meet today's players. So welcome back, Sue and Paula. You were with us last time. Everyone, of course, gets 2 shots on Pointless. This is your second shot. Remind us how you did.
We went out in the second round.
Second round. What would you love to come up today?
Anything that I can answer.
OK, good category, yes. Good. Anything in particular? What can you answer? Oh. Not even that question. Right. OK, well, best of luck this afternoon. Looks like you're going to need it. Right, and we welcome back Jonathan and Monica. Jomo. They're with us again. Remind us how you did last time.
Very badly.
It was that George Clooney. Oh, awful. Dear. Isn't he? What would you like to have come up, Monica?
Rock Hudson.
Rock Hudson. It was a category. OK, well, very best of luck. Who knows? Fingers crossed. Maybe he will make an appearance. Welcome to Ian and Nick. How do you two know each other?
Unfortunately, he's my son.
Oh, unfortunate. Nick, what's he talking about?
He says there's a lack of respect, but I don't see that.
Ian, what do you do?
I'm a semi-retired art teacher.
Yeah, I had an art teacher like that. Yeah. Well, very best of luck to you this afternoon. And finally, we welcome Lee and Carl. How do you two know each other?
Lee and I work together in local newspaper production in Blackburn.
So who's running the paper while you're away?
It's a good question, that. We'll find out when we get back.
OK, well, very best of luck this afternoon. We'll find out more about all of you throughout the show. There is just one more person for me to introduce. He is the oracle of obscure facts and figures. He is my pointless friend. He's Richard.
Hello.
The Delphic Oracle.
Yeah, how are you this afternoon?
I couldn't be better.
We've got 2 returning pairs today. Now, Sue, before we start, is there anything you want me to go over? Any rules, anything? You're OK?
No,
you know
fine,
what's
thank
going
you.
on?
Yeah.
Sure. If at any point you need us to stop, explain anything, just let us know. We've got a teacher with us again. Teachers have not covered themselves in glory this series, as we know. They've been pretty poor so far, Ian.
Nothing new this game, then.
In terms of the show, we got I'll say specifically, round 1, my mum will be very good at. Mum, keep watching. Round 2, she'll be terrible at. And round 3, doesn't matter, she'll have been knocked out by then.
What, at home? Why? What's she doing?
Yeah. Oh, she takes it very seriously. She scores 200 points, she leaves the room. Comes back tomorrow.
Now, that's commitment. Now, we put all our questions to 100 people before the show, but this is pointless, so we are after the obscure answers that they didn't get. To stay in the game with a chance of winning our jackpot, all our players need to do is score as few points as they possibly can. But what everyone's trying to do, of course, is find a pointless answer. That's an answer that none of our 100 people gave. And each time that happens, we will add 250 quid to the jackpot. Nobody won it last time, so we add another £1,000 to that. So today's jackpot starts off at £3,250. Right, let's play Pointless. OK, in the first round, each of you must give me one answer. You cannot confer with your partner. Whichever team has the highest score at the end of the round will be eliminated. And do please be careful, because if anyone gives me an incorrect answer, the score will be 100 points. You've been warned. OK, our first category this afternoon is crime fiction. Your mum's going to love this.
Oh, she is literally, should be on the edge of her seat.
She's going to be on the... She's standing now. Crime fiction. Sue, don't look like that. Why? Not your favourite subject?
No, I want to go home.
You can shortly. OK. Can you decide in your pairs who's going to go first, who's going to go second? And whoever's going first, please step up to the podium. OK, let's find out what the first question is going to be. We gave 100 people 100 seconds to name as many TV detectives as they could. Richard, can you elaborate?
Yeah, the correct answers here are all fictional detectives or police officers, either professional or amateur, who've appeared on television shows. OK. Right, Sue and Paulie all drew lots before the show, and today you get to go first. In this round, we're going to give you a choice of 7 possible answers on the board in each pass. The first set of 7 answers is like this. Elizabeth George, Frank Burnside, Hercule Poirot, John Luther, Jim Taggart, Sherlock Holmes, Charlie Barlow. I'm going to read those again. Elizabeth George, Frank Burnside, Hercule Poirot, John Luther, Jim Taggart, Sherlock Holmes, Charlie Barlow. And I can tell you that at least one of those answers is pointless,
but also at least one of those answers is incorrect. Land on one of the incorrect ones and you will score the maximum 100 points. Sue, TV detectives. That's all right, isn't it?
Yes, yeah, I think so. I think John Luther. I've just watched that Luther series, so I'll go for John Luther.
OK, you're trying to find the most obscure one that's going to score you the lowest number of points. And you're hoping it's not incorrect. John Luther, you say. Let's see if that's a good answer. And if it is, let's see how many people said it. Correct. That's a great answer, Sue. Very well done. John Luther scores you 3.
Yeah, well done, Sue. You're getting the hang of it now, aren't you? Yeah, John Luther. It's Idris Elba plays him in the BBC series that started in 2010. He's a maverick cop consumed by the darkness of the crime that surrounds him.
Why has no one ever written something about a maverick cop before? It seems
It's a good idea,
doesn't
isn't it? The thing about Luther, though, unlike a lot of TV cops, is he plays by his own rules. That's his thing.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
What, so he just tears up the book? And...
Yeah, he's literally, he wouldn't even know there was a rule book, this guy.
Wow. Did County Hall ever get in his boss's back?
I can't believe he hasn't been fired, genuinely, because of the maverick way in which he goes about his business.
Wow.
I have written a letter of complaint to the head of the Met. I think it's outrageous, some of the stunts he gets away with.
OK, a very good answer, Sue. John Luther. Monica. This is your kind of area, Monica, isn't it?
Yes. Frank Burnside.
Frank Burnside. OK, you know that's right, don't you?
Hope so.
Do you watch a lot of Frank?
Frankly, yes.
Good answer. OK, let's see how many people said Frank Burnside. It's right. Look at that! Frank really won. Look at that. Richard. Frank Burnside.
Frank Burnside from The Bill, played by Christopher Ellison, also had his own spin-off series, Burnside. It's an incredibly low score,
Isn't it?
I thought, 1. But the thing about Burnside is he was a maverick cop. He played by his own rules. That's the thing with that guy, and some of the stunts that guy pulled.
Did he just tear up the book?
He didn't know there was a book, this guy. I'm not kidding you, how they ever solved anything.
But his boss must have just had County Hall on his back all the time.
Well, I very clearly remember the DA once giving him 48 hours to solve a crime, and
Right.
he didn't have a DA. That's America.
Yeah. Wow.
Forget the DA comment.
So we're looking for TV detectives. We're looking for TV detectives. Nick, 2 of them have gone.
Okay.
There is at least one pointless answer on that board. No one has found it yet. I think no one till now.
This isn't my strong point. I don't know why I stepped up. So I might go with Elizabeth George.
Elizabeth George. Is that a complete stab in the dark?
Pretty much the stabbiest and the darkest you're going to get.
OK, Elizabeth George. Let's see if it's right. And if it is, let's see how many people said Elizabeth George. Unfortunately, Nick, Elizabeth George is a wrong answer. It means you score the maximum of 100 points. Richard, Elizabeth George.
Yeah, I'm afraid Elizabeth George is the American author of the Inspector Linley mysteries. Elizabeth George, of course, is a maverick author who does not play by the rules.
Does she write the book?
She doesn't even know there is a book, Elizabeth George.
Not until she's finished it, there isn't. Bad luck, Nick. Big score. Brave answer. Now, Lee, we are looking for TV detectives. You are the last person to have this smorgasbord. You could go for any of those 4. We still haven't had our pointless answer.
I don't think Poirot, Taggart and Holmes will all be very high on the list, so I'm going to have to go for Charlie Barlow.
Charlie Barlow. Carl just did this. I don't know if that's an anger management thing he does or a small prayer to some deity for picking Charlie Barlow. Let's see if it's right. Let's see if your logic has earned you a pointless answer. I think it may have done. Let's see. It's correct. It has! Very well done, Lee. Charlie Barlow is a pointless answer, and it adds £250 to today's jackpot. takes the total to £3,500 and scores you nothing. Charlie Barlow.
Yeah, well played, Lee, by a process of elimination. Charlie Barlow, played by Stratford Johns in Z-Cars in the 60s.
Stratford Johns.
Yeah.
So good he's named after Shakespeare's birthplace. That's how good his acting was. That's
Extraordinary man he was.
Chigwell Armstrong, they used to call me.
I've heard them call you other things.
No, mainly Chigwell Armstrong. Chigwell, that was the one.
Let's take a look at the other answers. No surprises left on the board, I don't think. Hercule Poirot would have scored you 61, so perhaps you should have gone for it instead of Elizabeth George. Sherlock Holmes would have scored you 45, and Jim Taggart would have scored you a fairly healthy 20 points.
OK, well, we're halfway through the round, so let's take a look at the scores. Lee and Carl, what about that? Nothing. Absolutely nothing. Carl, see if you can get another pointless on the way back.
I'll do my best, sir.
Now then, Nick. That was hard. Elizabeth George. I'd have gone for Elizabeth George.
Yeah, sounded nice.
Charlie Whatnot sounded like he was saying take that or something. But Ian, you're going to have to pull something spectacular out of the bag. Monica and Jonathan, Sue and Paula, fantastic scoring this time round. It's really just Ian who's got the mountain to climb. Maybe too steep, even for you. Right, we're going to come back down the line. Can the second players please take their places at the podium? OK, we're going to put 7 more answers on the board. We are looking for TV detectives, and we have got for you Kurt Wallander, Nick Rowan, Jane Marple, Jean Hunt, Inspector Morse, Tom Barnaby, Dr. Henry Jones. Just read those again. Kurt Wallander, Nick Rowan, Jane Marple, Jean Hunt, Inspector Morse, Tom Barnaby, Dr. Henry Jones. Carl, I can tell you that at least one of those answers is pointless. As before, at least one of those answers is incorrect. If you land on the incorrect ones, you will score 100 points. You are on 0. You want to be scoring 99 or less with your answer to ensure your place in the next round. What are your interests, Carl?
By sheer coincidence, I really like the Kurt Wallander series, that was the Swedish detective series, so that's what I'm going to go with, Alexander.
Kurt, so for you it's Kurt Wallander. Kurt Wallander.
Yeah.
OK, Kurt Wallander. You are hoping to score 99 or less. Here's your red line, just there. I think Kurt might see you beneath it. Let's see how many people said Kurt Wallander. It's good enough. Ten people said Kurt Wallander. Takes your total up to 10. Surprisingly low score for a contemporary detective, I'd have thought.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And Wallander, of course, played in the UK version by Kenneth Branagh.
Now, he does play it by the rules.
Yeah, he does, actually, to be fair to him.
You know Maverick.
Oh.
No, he's a good cop.
Yeah, does the
That's what
job.
he's told.
Rule
Yeah.
book.
Yeah, he's never had his gun or his badge taken from him. He's just...
Straight down the line.
OK. Thank you very much, Richard. Now, Ian, the moment of truth. The moment of truth. You are on 100. You are the high scorers. If you can find a pointless answer and hope that either Jonathan or Paula gets an incorrect answer, it's not out of the question, you are out of the woods. TV detectives, that's what we're looking for.
Tricky one. I think I recognise the name Tom Barnaby. I hope it's our Jersey friend. I'll go with Tom Barnaby.
Let's hope it's our Jersey friend. There he is, Tom Barnaby. How many people said it? Is it a correct answer? It is correct. Oh, it's not a bad answer at all, Ian. 105. Sadly, whatever happens, I'm afraid you will be leaving us at the end of this round. I'm sorry to say. That score is just too big for the others to overtake. Richard, Tom Barnaby.
Yeah, Tom Barnaby, it's a good answer. He sort of is and isn't our Jersey friend, because it is John Nettles who played Jim Bergerac, but Tom Barnaby is his character in Midsummer Murders.
That's it.
Of course, another non-Maverick cop. It's a much nicer board, isn't it?
Yeah. Oh. OK, thank you very much. Jonathan, you are on 1. Monica, with Frank Burnside, scored 1. Fantastic score. You can't do any wrong. Even if you pick the incorrect answer, you're still through to the next round. Why not try and find another pointless answer and add 250 quid to the jackpot?
OK, Alexander, I am going to run with Jean Hunt.
You're going to run with Gene Hunt. OK, no red line for you. You're through. Let's see what Gene Hunt does for you. Well, it's right. Three. Amazing score. Gives you a total of 4. Very low score for Gene Hunt.
Low score, yeah, Gene Hunt, played by Philip Glenister, of course, in Life on Mars and Ashes to Ashes.
Now, that man is capital M, capital C, Maverick Cop.
Yeah, he really is a maverick cop, that guy.
Yeah.
Someone should rein him in. Has anyone thought of reining him in? Who's Home Secretary now?
Oh,
Who is Home Secretary now?
yeah, I was just thinking, hang on. OK. Very good answer, Jonathan. Now, Paula. So we're looking for TV detectives. Try and find the pointless answer. Add 250 quid to the jackpot.
OK, well, there's 2 that are very obvious, so I've got 2 to go at.
OK, well, you can talk us through them if you like.
Well, Jane Marple, I'm sure is very high, and Inspector Morse, I'm sure is very high.
Mm-hmm.
I've not heard of Nick Rowan or Dr. Henry Jones, so I'm probably going to pick the wrong one. I honestly don't remember a detective called Doctor anything, I don't think. I'm going to go Nick Rowan.
See, if he was a doctor, he'd be tying down 2 jobs.
Well, I know there's like...
Can't be doctor and a detective,
yeah.
unless you're a doctor of detectiving. No, but no, you can be. It's a proper degree.
Actually, I've just remembered who Henry Jones is. That's Indiana's dad, isn't it? So I think that's been stuck in as a sly one.
See,
so,
right.
yeah,
2
Nick
jobs at
Rowan,
once.
definitely.
Nick Rowan. All right. OK. OK, Nick Rowan. Good process of elimination. Let's see if it's earned the jackpot 250 quid. Nick Rowan. It's right. Spectacular work. Nick Rowan is the pointless answer. It adds £250 to today's jackpot, taking the total up to £3,750, and it scores you nothing. Bringing you to a total of 3. Richard.
Yeah, PC Nick Rowan is the character that for many years Nick Berry played in Heartbeat. That's him, so you may not know the name, but you'd recognise the character. And you're absolutely right. Of course, Inspector Morse is a fairly high-scoring answer, 46. J. Marple would have got you 35. And Dr. Henry Jones, yes, the real name of Indiana Jones himself. So it was a wrong answer.
Thanks very much, Richard. So at the end of round 1, the losing pair with the highest score, sorry to say, it's Ian and Nick.
Teachers.
Teachers, you see, every time. You went for Elizabeth George. You have to take a punt in this. That's what it's all about, exactly. Ian, what would you like to have come up?
Second World War battles.
OK. Very good. That's precisely the sort of thing that just might have come up, actually. Yeah, well...
Maverick battles.
What, like in Top Gun? Very good. Well, you've been fantastic contestants. I'm sorry we say goodbye to you so soon, but we will, of course, see you again next time. Everyone gets 2 chances on Pointless, when hopefully you'll be on for more than just 1 round. Anyway, thanks so much for playing. You've been great contestants. For the remaining 3 pairs, however, it's now time for round 2. OK, well, it's now time to find out which 2 teams will be going through to the head-to-head for the chance to reach the Pointless final. The category for round 2 is... Sport. Sport. Can you all decide in your pairs who's going to go first, who's going to go second? And whoever's going first, please step up to the podium. And the question is... Commentators and Their Sports. Commentators and Their Sports. In this round, we're about to show you a list of sports commentators. We gave 100 people 100 seconds to tell us the sports with which they are most closely associated. Richard.
Yeah, we're going to show you 6 commentators. All you've got to do is tell us their sport. Obviously, the more obscure ones will score you fewer points. If you give us a wrong answer, though, it'll cost you 100 points.
Right, your first 6 reads like this. Andy Gray, Sharon Davies, Peter O'Sullivan, John Virgo, Mike Tucker, Dan Maskell. Read those again. Andy Gray, Sharon Davies, Peter O'Sullivan, John Virgo, Mike Tucker, Dan Maskell. OK, Paula, we are looking for the sports that these commentators are most closely associated with. Do you watch lots of sports, Paula?
I hate the majority of sports.
The majority. What's the small minority that you love?
I like... well, I watch a certain amount of football because of my husband. I'm a little bit aware of golf because of my husband. But yeah, as a general rule, I don't like watching it. So I'm aware of 3 of those people.
OK, so not really an ideal category for
No.
you.
I'm assuming the 3 that I know do the sports that I think. So rather than risk it, I'm going to pick one that I'm quite sure of.
Sensible.
So I'm going to go John Virgo, snooker.
John Virgo, snooker. Let's see if that's correct. And if it is, let's see how many people knew John Virgo did snooker. Right. 46. John Virgo earns you. Richard.
Yeah, John Virgo, of course, a regular commentator for the BBC on snooker. He also used to be on Big Break. He was like me to your Jim Davidson on Big Break.
Wow, there's a job.
Yeah.
To be like you to Jim Davison.
Yeah. Do you think I'm more like John Virgo than you are like Jim Davidson? You're quite like Jim Davidson.
Am I?
A little bit.
Am I a bit like...
Yeah, a little bit. That you've got that thing, you've had 4 wives. You live mainly in Dubai, if we're honest. And, you know, I'm nothing like John Virgo at all, other than I won the 1982 Mercantile Credit Classic.
OK, we are looking for the sports that these commentators are most closely associated with. Jonathan, I know that you know every name on that list.
Well, you could be wrong. It's not one of my best subjects again, Alexander. However, I'm going to have a stab at Sharon Davis. Swimming.
Yep. Swimming.
Indeed.
OK, Jonathan says Sharon Davies, swimming. Let's see if that's a correct answer and how many people said it if it is. It's right. .35, that scores you. Sharon Davies, swimming. Richard.
Yeah, another BBC commentator. She first swam for Britain at the age of 11, Sharon Davis.
Wow.
Yeah.
Not a bad score, Jonathan. Carl. So we're looking for the sports that these commentators are most closely associated with. This just plays into your hands, doesn't it?
Oh, Alex,
We are
what are you doing to me?
What? I thought, sure, you... Come on, Carl. Isn't this your bag?
The only 2 names I knew up there have both gone. I'm cream crackered now.
Oh, dear. Dear, oh, dear. Well, we are looking for the sports that these commentators are most closely associated with.
Well, the only other 2 I've heard of are Peter O'Sullivan and Dan Maskell, and I'm not sure at all what their individual fields of expertise are, but I'm going to say Peter O'Sullivan, and I think it might be, if I'm lucky, fingers crossed, horse racing.
Oh, you're getting a firm nod from Jonathan and
That's
Monica,
good.
nodding in unison.
Thank you.
You might have been on the back shelf of a car. OK, let's see if Peter O'Sullivan did indeed commentate on horse racing. And if he did, how many people knew that answer? You're right. Best answer yet, Carl. That scores you 29. So, Peter O'Sullivan, Richard.
Yeah, Peter O'Sullivan was BBC's main horse racing commentator for 50 years. 50 years, from 1947 on the radio all the way through to 1997. Let's take a look at the rest of the answers, shall we? So Dan Maskell, you're saying ahead of Dan Maskell is tennis. They called him the voice of Wimbledon. He taught Prince Charles to play tennis. Would have scored you 19 points. Andy Gray up the top is a football commentator on Sky. Would have scored you 36. And Mike Tucker, very well done if you got it home, is a pointless answer, is an equestrian show jumping commentator. So John Virgo, actually, the most well-known commentator on the board there.
I was just about to say that's probably thanks to Point Break, but he wasn't in that film.
Big Break.
Big Break, that's right, yes.
You're thinking of Keanu Reeves.
You're right, I was thinking of Keanu Reeves. OK, let's take a look at the scores. We're halfway through the round. Well, quite close grouping there. Lee and Carl, obviously looking the best. And Sue and Paula, 46, a little bit out in front there. So, Sue, do your magic in the second pass and you'll be fine. OK, we're going to come back down the line. Can the second players please take their places at the podium? OK, we're going to put 6 more sports commentators on the board. And we have got Ron Pickering, Ted Lowe, Peter Allis, Bill McLaren, Murray Walker, Richie Benno. I'll read them again. Ron Pickering, Ted Lowe, Peter Alliss, Bill McLaren, Murray Walker, Richie Benno. And remember, we are looking for the sports with which these commentators are most closely associated. And you're trying to find the one that the fewest of our 100 people said. Lee, you know all these people.
Not all of them, no, but I know some of them, yeah. I think I'm going to go for Richie Benno, because I think it's cricket.
Your score is 29. If you come in 16 or less, you're through. Richie Benno?
Cricket.
Cricket. There is your red line. See how Richie Benno does it for you. How many people said Richie Benno? Not a bad answer, actually. That scores you 24, takes your total up to 53. Richie Benno.
Yeah, Richie Benno, of course, the former Australian cricket captain turned commentator.
Spectacular. Monica. So we're looking for the sports that these commentators are most closely associated with.
Peter Alliss, golf.
You are saying Peter Alliss, golf. You are currently on 35. You want to score 17 or less with this answer to avoid becoming the high scorers. There's your red line. Below that red line, you are through. Let's see how many people said Peter Alliss, golf. 29. That scores you, takes your total up to 64. Good news for Lee and Carl, they're through. Richard.
Yeah, ex-professional, won many tournaments, played in Ryder Cups, and now BBC's golf commentator. Very good he is too.
Good. Very good. OK. Sue, you are on 46. You want to be scoring 17 or less if you are to avoid leaving the show. OK, remember, we are looking for the sports most commonly associated with these commentators. How many of those do you know?
I think I know one. I should have gone in the first round because I knew quite a few of those. I only know one of these, and I think it's going to be a really high score, and I'm only guessing at it. I'll have to go Murray Walker, and I think he used to be Formula One.
Murray Walker, Formula One. Here comes your red line. If Murray Walker from Formula One gets you below that red line, you're through to the next round. Let's see if it's right, and if it is, let's see how many people said Murray Walker, Formula One. 34, that scores you, Sue, taking your total up to 80. I'm afraid that sees you off the show. Richard.
Yeah, Murray Walker, very famously the Formula One commentator, again for the BBC. He said, which is apt at the end of round two, he once said, with half the race gone, there's still half the race to go, which is the position we find ourselves in now.
Wise words indeed.
Wise words from Murray. He famously had a very loud sort of way of talking, simply because he was having to talk over very loud engines all the time. I don't know if he spoke like that at home. Let's take a look at the other three. Alexander, do you know any of those?
Bill McLaren, obviously rugby.
Bill McLaren is rugby, would have scored you 18 points.
Don't know the others.
Don't know. There's Ron Pickering is athletics and used to present We Are the Champions when we were kids as well. 15 points. And Ted Lowe, Whispering Ted Lowe, was a snooker commentator. He would have scored you 14 points. That's the best answer on the board.
OK, thanks, Richard. So at the end of round two, the losing pair with the highest score, I'm afraid it's Sue and Paula.
Never mind.
Sue, it's round two. It's always done for you, hasn't it? Bad
At least
luck.
I got it right this time.
You did. You did incredibly well. You did a fantastic round one as well.
Yep.
You got a pointless as well, Paula.
Yep.
So you leave having left a legacy for the remaining pairs.
A little bit of money.
entirely selfless act. Very sorry to have to say goodbye to you this time round. This time it really is goodbye. This is your second chance, but you're still going to be good neighbours, aren't you?
Yeah.
Very good. Well, it's been lovely having you on the show. Thanks so much for playing. Thank you. For the remaining two pairs, things are about to get even more exciting now as we enter the head-to-head. Well, we've already said goodbye to two teams. Now it's time to find out which of our remaining pairs will be playing for today's jackpot, which currently stands at £3,750. OK, you're now going to be going head-to-head on the best of 3 questions. You are now allowed to confer. All you have to do is come up with an answer that scores less than the other pair to win each question. The first pair to win 2 questions will be playing for today's jackpot. Let's play Pointless. OK, here's your first question. We gave 100 people 100 seconds to name as many permanent UN Security Council members as they could. Richard.
We're looking for any of the 5 countries that are permanent members of the UN Security Council as of April 2010.
OK. Lee and Carl, because you've played the best throughout the show so far, you get to go first.
I don't know. That's the question.
It's going to be like some superpowers. Obviously, Russia's going to be a big one. I'd say something like maybe... Oh, I think we're probably in there. Probably France and Spain.
Something you go for whatever.
OK, we have an answer.
Yes, a hesitant one, but we're going to say us, UK, England.
UK, the United Kingdom. Jonathan and Monica. Permanent UN Security Council members. That's what we're looking for?
I think Russia's quite... They seem to argue with everybody.
Yeah, they've certainly got the power in Russia.
And
And
Germany
certainly
as
got the
well.
power in Germany and in France.
Yeah. What should we do, Germany? Or Russia? It's got to be Russia, because they veto.
Yes, please.
We'll say Russia.
OK, you're going to say Russia. Lee and Carl answered first with United Kingdom. Let's see if that's correct. And if it is, let's see how many people said it, United Kingdom. "32." United Kingdom scores you 32. Jonathan and Monica have said Russia. Let's see if that's right and how many people said it. It's right. Good answer, 20. That wins you the point. After the first question, Jonathan and Monica are up 1-0.
Yeah, good answer. There was one answer that would have beaten Russia. Let's take a look at all 5 of them. These are the 5 members of the UN Security Council. China, with 18, would have won the point. There's Russia with 20, France 24, United States 13, and the UK was actually the top answer. What could possibly go wrong with those 5 countries in charge, eh? We're in safe hands.
Here is your second question. Lee and Carl, if Jonathan and Monica win this point, they are straight through to the final and we say goodbye to you. You have to win this if you want to stay in the game. OK, we gave 100 people 100 seconds to name as many foods from the song Food, Glorious Food as they could. Richard, this is a question from a musical.
Yeah, finally.
Oh, there are people are going to be hanging up bunting.
We're looking for any edible foodstuff from the song from Oliver, Food, Glorious Food, other than crust or crumb. We're not counting those as foodstuffs. So any individual foodstuff from Food, Glorious Food.
OK. This time, Jonathan and Monica get to go first.
I think I'm going to say peas pudding.
OK, peas pudding from Jonathan and Monica, Carl and Lee.
Jelly and custard. Sausage and mustard. I'm out of rhyming words now.
Should we say mustard?
Mustard, yeah, I think mustard. Yeah.
We'll go with mustard.
You're going to go with mustard. OK, in the order they were given, Jonathan and Monica said peas pudding. Let's see if that's right and how many people said it. Well, it is right. Wow. Oh, that's good. That's good. That scores you 9. Lee and Carl, this is to stay in the game. Mustard. Let's see if it's right and how many people said it. Mustard. You have to win this one to stay in the game. Scores you 20. Sadly, it's not going to do it for you. So after 2 questions in straight sets, Jonathan and Monica are through to the final 2-0. Richard.
Yeah, tough luck, Lee and Carl. There were actually 4 answers that would have beaten peas pudding. At home, if you're singing along, even as we speak, let's take a look at all of those foodstuffs. Peaches and cream, both at the bottom there, with 2 each. Steak with 4, then gruel with 8. There's peas pudding. And we'll take a look at the first page of the list. Saveloy with 10, then jelly 16, sausage 18, and then mustard and custard right at the top with 20 and 38.
OK, so the losing pair at the end of the head-to-head round, I'm afraid, is Lee and Carl. Oh, bad luck. Yes, United Nations and Lionel Bart. 2 areas you could do better on. Well, I'm afraid that's bad news for the newspaper people, because you're going to have to stick around for another show.
Heaven knows what the headlines will read.
Well, they'll be somewhere on the back page, probably.
It'll be a mess.
Well done, Lee and Carl. You've done fantastic well. Your first appearance on the show, you've gone right through to the head-to-head. You will, of course, be back next time for your second and final chance to get through to the pointless final. But for now, we have to say goodbye. Thank you so much for playing. You've been great contestants. But for Jonathan and Monica, it's now time for our pointless final and the chance to win £3,750. Well, congratulations, Jonathan and Monica. You've seen off all the competition and you have won our coveted pointless trophy. Mark. You now have a chance to win our pointless jackpot. At the end of today's show, the jackpot stands at £3,750. The rules are very, very simple. To win the money, all you have to do is find a pointless answer. That's an answer that none of our 100 people could think of. Now, we've had 2 pointless answers on the show today. You just need to find 1 more of them to go home with that money. Firstly, you've got to choose a category from these 3 options. You can go for number 1's darts world leaders. Number 1's darts world leaders.
You're quite good on world leaders.
Yeah, world leaders, please.
World leaders it is. OK, let's find out what the question is. We gave 100 people 100 seconds to name as many presidents of South Africa as they could. Presidents of South Africa, Richard.
Yeah, we're looking for any acting or permanent president of South Africa from when the post was first instigated in 1961 through to 2010.
OK, you now have up to 1 minute to come up with 3 answers, and all you need to win that 3,750 is for just 1 of those answers to be pointless. Your 60 seconds start now.
Jan Smuts.
Jan Smuts. Jan Smuts, Nelson Mandela.
Oh, I can't remember the latest one.
Pete Berta.
Pete Berta. Yeah.
Pete Berta.
Yeah.
Yeah.
OK.
Those are your 3. Stop the clock! Look at that. Barely 12 seconds gone before you'd got your 3 answers. What are they?
OK, we have Pete Berta.
Berta.
Jan Smuts.
Smuts.
Mandela.
Mandela. Which of those do you think is your best shot at a pointless answer?
I think Smuts.
Smuts. We'll put Smuts last.
Right.
Which is your least likely?
Mandela.
Mandela. OK, let's put those up on the board in the order of confidence. Nelson Mandela, Pick Berta, Jannie Smuts. Nelson Mandela, Pick Berta, Jannie Smuts. Those are the answers you gave us. Nelson Mandela, this is your first answer. Your first shot at the jackpot of £3,750. This has to be pointless, obviously. Confident?
No.
No. I've heard of it.
I have vaguely.
OK, let's see how many people said Nelson Mandela.
Oh, that's a surprise.
Surprisingly few. You knew that wasn't going to be a pointless answer. Nelson Mandela, of course, everyone knows that. You only have 2 more chances to win today's jackpot. We are now into slightly more serious territory. These are more considered answers, more likely contenders to win you the £3,750. We were looking for presidents of South Africa. Your second answer was Pick Berta. £3,750. What would you do with that?
Have a holiday.
Where would you go on your holiday, Monica?
On a cruise.
On a cruise. You've done a lot of cruises.
Yes, I have.
Jonathan,
Yes, sir.
Do you cruise?
Well, I have actually followed my mother's footsteps, and I have been on a few cruises, but not as many as my mum.
Right.
So
Do you enjoy them as much as she does?
Oh, I think it's a fantastic way to go, to be
Yeah.
honest. I mean, you can do as much as you like or as little as you like. You know, just totally relax. And it's a nice way to travel. It really is.
OK. Let's see if that cruise is going to become a possibility. This has to be a pointless answer for you to win the jackpot. Your second answer was pick Bertha, you said. Let's see if it's correct. And if it is, let's see how many people said pick Bertha. This for £3,750.
Wrong?
I'm afraid that is an incorrect answer, therefore not a pointless answer. You only have one final chance to win today's jackpot. We are looking for presidents of South Africa. You said this was the answer you were most confident with. Obviously, it has to be pointless to win that jackpot of £3,750. Yanni Smuts. Yanni Smuts. We have to hope that nobody said Yanni Smuts and that it is a correct answer for you to win that jackpot of £3,750. Let's see how many people said it. Yanni Smuts. Wow. What a surprise. Another incorrect answer. Unfortunately, you haven't found that pointless answer that you needed, so I'm afraid you don't leave with today's jackpot of £3,750. That'll roll over to the next show, but you have been amazing and you do get to take home our pointless trophy. So, Richard.
Yeah, let's clear up Pick Bertha first. Pick Bertha and PW Bertha are different people. Pick Bertha was the foreign minister at the time of PW Bertha, who's Peter William Bertha. And Jan Smuts was prime minister, but a long time before this, from 1919 to 24, and again from 39 to 48. So both good answers, both senior South African politicians, but neither of them president, I'm afraid. There were a number of pointless answers, though, if we take a look at the board. De Klerk wasn't a pointless answer. De Klerk would have scored you plenty of points. B.J. Forster, Charles Robert Swart, Chris Hunis. Take a look at some more. Jim Fouché, Johannes de Klerk, which is not, it's not F.W. de Klerk.
No.
Joshua Francois Nawade. And there were three other pointless answers: Murray Viljoen, Nicholas Johannes Diederichs, and Theopolis Donez. Those were all pointless answer. Very well done if you've got any of those at home.
So, unfortunately, we have to say goodbye to Jonathan and Monica. It's been fantastic having you on the show. Thank you so much for playing. Thank you. Nobody's won our jackpot today, so it rolls over, which means on the next show we'll be playing for £4,750. Join us next time to see if someone can win it. Meanwhile, it's goodbye from Richard.
Goodbye.
And it's goodbye from me. Goodbye.